All right, guys, welcome to this week's Dev Chat. Just paying tributes to a legend who we lost this week, and it looks like we've got more bad news this evening. They say these things come in free, so I don't know. If I was an A-list celebrity right now, I'd be pretty worried. But thankfully, or unfortunately, depending on what perspective you're looking at it from, I do not have that problem. Anyway, okay, so first of all, I just want to apologize that we had to skip last week. And as promised, we're going to make this a slightly longer dev chat. So we'll stick to the usual format. We're going to go through the numbers. We're going to go through the updates in terms of what we've been up to. Then we'll get stuck into the AMA. And instead of just doing 20 minutes, we'll allocate 40 minutes. So we might not go the distance. It depends how many questions we get. But if there is anything that we do miss, if, for instance, we do end it because there's no questions and somebody joins late, not to worry, because this Sunday, we're going to bring forward the coffee chat. So for those who are not aware, every month, the first Sunday of the month will be a coffee chat. But because of the week that I've kind of had, I'm going to bring it forward just so that we can get that connection renewed. So just to explain some things, nothing serious, don't worry, just some family matters that I had to attend to, but it did mean that I had to miss last week's dev chat, and it meant that I kind of took about 3 days to myself. So there's not going to be a ton of things to cover today. I mean, there is going to be a ton of things to cover today, but there's not going to be a ton of new development from my side that I'm going to cover, but there has been some. So those of you who are coming to expect some development updates, you're going to get them. Just that I would have preferred a few more days. But it is what it is. So let's get started. We're going to go through the figures. I'm going to drop in the Twitter numbers first, and then we're going to come back to this. And the reason we're going to come back to it is because these are positive numbers, and there's a reason why. So I'm just going to drop them in the chat. So the first thing you'll notice is we're up on all accounts over the last 7 days. So this is great news. We've got a 400% increase on replies. By the way, I think when it gets to like maybe 400 is accurate. I don't know. But I know that sometimes it will stick a 10K increase on something that went from 0 to 1, for example. So I think this is still an accurate percentage. So we're getting replies. We've got a massive increase in likes, massive increase in reposts. We've got in percentage terms, we've got a big increase in bookmarks, but in real terms, I think we went from 1 to 3, something like that. Profile visits, that's the one for me that I'm always keen to see, and we've managed to grow it by 115%. So I'm super, super pleased with that. So as you can see, all across the board, we are performing really well on Twitter. Now, you will have noticed that there's been some consistency in tweets. They may not be the most informative or the best tweets to be using, but we are consistently posting on Twitter now. So what we're doing is I've created a couple of automations, and I'm going to create some more as well. One of them is that we post every day at the same time. So I think it's 11 a.m. UTC, something like that. We send out a post that notifies people of one of the LeetLottos that is the closest to being full percentage-wise. So whatever lotto has the most allocation of tickets by percentage filled, we make a post about that every single day. And also a couple of hours before that post goes out, if we've created a new lotto within 24 hours, we'll also post about that. So the reason we chose to test this automation on LeetLotto is because obviously LeetLotto is our primary revenue driver at the moment in terms of games live. So we're focusing on that, and it's working. We're getting increases in profile visits, which is for me the most important thing, and we're also seeing engagement rates go up. So super stoked. We're going to expand this automation into Reddit as well, and other aspects of our project on Twitter as well, and even Telegram. One thing to be super clear about, what I'm not looking to do is produce a bunch of AI slop and push that out. So there's a bit more thought going into the automations that we're creating so that we don't just end up with a bunch of AI generated content that nobody's interested in or even wants to engage with. So whatever we automate, it will be informative, it will be relevant, and it will be targeted as well. So good news across the board on Twitter. So let's move on. We'll take a look at Reddit's scores on the doors. Now, just to be clear, these are not as good as the Twitter numbers. And I think this is almost entirely my fault because normally I make a post on the Friday after the dev chat. Now, I actually made this post Monday this week. So there was a few days there that we lost in terms of getting those views up. So I was pleased that we only lost around 10 views based on the previous week because it could have been much worse, but overall it's not great. Now, I'm hoping that the automation test that I'm running on Twitter, once we extend that into Reddit, that we can also see this improve as well. So watch this space. The good thing to note from the experiment with Twitter is that this is an example of organic marketing in action. As you can see, these two results really contrast. We've got Twitter popping off, so to speak, and we've got Reddit kind of just crab-legging or crab-walking, I guess. So I think this shows like this is a really clear A/B test and how this style of organic, in fact, it's super cheap because I don't pay for the automation. I created it myself. So a super cheap way of marketing the project that allows for organic growth. So no excuses from our side. There's things we can do, and we've proved it. So let's continue. Let's move on. Before we get to the token price, I want to just share. I want to share the email campaign. Now, the next email is not going out till next week on Tuesday, but I want to just kind of show you the final results of the last email campaign because all the results are in now. So this is for the dev chat. I've purposely left 2 email campaigns in the comparison there. So LeetLotto got sent out the week before, and the dev chat got sent out the week after. We targeted the same group of users. And what we've been able to learn is that the more personally crafted emails obviously convert much more. So dev chat included the user's name. It sounded a bit more personal in the subject matter. And we basically got a massive increase in email opens, a massive increase in unsubscribes though. And we didn't quite get as many clicks. But there's a key difference between the 2 campaigns. Dev chat was an awareness campaign, and the LeetLotto was definitely a campaign geared towards getting people to visit the link in the email. So basically what I'm trying to say is we don't expect people to click on the link inside the dev chat email as much as those who received the LeetLotto one. So I think we've learned something there, that the more personal approach definitely helps us increase the amount of people who open these emails. So I think what we're starting to see, if there's anything to learn from these numbers here and the things that we're talking about, is that there is absolutely scope for a organic, relatively cheap way of growing our presence and marketing the project. Because if you look at Twitter, with just the most simplest of automations that I've implemented, and we can certainly expand it and make it much better. We're already seeing massive increases in engagement and, well, everything. Whereas when you compare that to Reddit, not much going on there. So we can take from the lessons from Twitter and apply it to Reddit and grow that. The emails, we're obviously learning how to craft the better emails that convert into clicks. 30% of people who received it opened it. That's massive. It's much more than what I thought was possible. So I guess this is my way of saying that I think the days of hiding behind budgets and stuff for marketing, I think they're over. I just think we need to be smarter. So that's something that you guys hopefully can take comfort in, that we're learning these lessons. And then finally, let's get on to the token price. So again, just to be clear, guys, if you're new to this chat, I don't take credit for the token price because there's so many things that affect it. And quite frankly, there's been times that I've shared the price in the red. So it's great to see that the token is growing. So over the last 7 days, the token is obviously up, which is what we want to see. But we obviously think there's room to continue here. But it's always good to see the token growing, and hopefully that the market continues to support the token, and then the stuff that we layer in on top of it, product releases, campaigns, email campaigns, automations, all these things hopefully just foster that growth too. All right, cool. So moving on now, I want to just kind of touch on some of the stuff that we've been up to that maybe you weren't aware of. I don't know how many people in this chat do look at our Reddit page. I imagine a bunch of us do because the numbers exceed the attendance here today, I think. Although we're doing well today. We've got over 20 people participating, which is definitely positive. So I posted our update on Monday. So not an awful lot has changed, but there has been one key change. So for those of you who are listening right now and can't get to Reddit, I'll recap basically what we've been doing from the Reddit article, and then I'll talk about the stuff that isn't in the Reddit article. So the land deeds, we've got the contracts that support the land deed app, the contracts compiling, and we've got first on-chain interactions in stages. So what that basically means is that we've got the testnet version of the contract done. So now that we are ready to start implementing the UI. So this is the Gamerverse land deeds app that we're talking about. Moving on to Battle Leet. So we onboarded new team members from Hammerbyte. There's a little bit of questioning in the chats the other day about this, and what does it mean? And just to clarify what I think Fitos and maybe Ultimo already addressed, this is not a new game development team, it's just new members of the game development team from Hammerbyte joining the project. So if you're not aware, I spoke with them a couple of weeks ago in an effort to re-engage and reinvigorate the development to get Battle Leet deployed. Just to be super clear and put a super fine point on this, what we are trying to achieve, my primary goal when I came into this this new rebooted mode that we're in right now, was to get us CoinMarketCap verified, which we did with a great effort from the community. Thank you guys. And my second goal was to get Battle Leet deployed as well. So it will be the PC version, and it will be a similar version to what you've already play tested, but with some key differences. So a new API, which allows us to integrate rewards much better. The authentication system is going to be revamped, which we'll come on to in a minute, making it easier and more streamlined to log into all our games. And we're working towards getting Battle Leet live. So I'll come on to that in a moment and talk about the new developments since this article was written. The GMR streaming app, I'm not going to lie, this is the first time that I've built a desktop app. I've built many different types of applications in my time, but working with Electron, this is the first time I've worked in Electron, and OBS and Streamlabs are both built, or at least the Streamlabs implementation of OBS is built in Electron, and we're doing the same. And it's proved a bit of a pain in the arse, if I'm honest, but we're getting close. I've promised Ultimo he will get it first. I still don't know when I'm going to get it to him because it works great in development, but as soon as I compile it, we're getting all sorts of compiling issues, and I've got a feeling it's to do with a Webpack configuration issue that I'm missing. So I just need to pick that apart and hopefully get that out to you. So apologies on the extended delay on the streaming app. It's something that I really want to see get delivered because it's a legacy development now. I think it's been outstanding for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So apologies for those who are waiting on that. Ultimo, I know you're desperately waiting on it because you want to stream on multiple platforms right away. I will get it to you as soon as I can, I promise. Timelines. So timelines, we're expecting updates to drop tomorrow on timelines. One thing I'm definitely not going to get implemented in time for tomorrow is the ability to tip tokens, which will follow probably over the weekend, but everything else will be implemented. So apologies. Maybe I'll get it done. I'm just looking at the hours I've got left today. I'm not sure I'm going to get it in the next deployment. So the timeline deployment is coming tomorrow. You're going to see most of it deployed except for the token tipping, which will follow either over the weekend or Monday. Okay, so that's kind of what we were up to, which is already covered in the article. But just to kind of be clear on the stuff that's happened since then. So the game team are preparing the most important aspects of the API integration, which is authentication. So one of the biggest differences between the previous version of the game and this one is we are now using an integrated authentication system, so the way you log in. And we are bringing back something familiar to one of the alpha versions of the game. We removed it in later versions, but one of the alpha versions was the concept of a game key. So right now, deployed on the GMR Center, it went live today. I think I posted it today. If you go to the dashboard, you'll see a new menu item underneath games called keys. And you can create your key now in preparation for when Battle Leet goes live. So it just works like any other password, and it will be the password or game key that you use to log into all of our games. So what this means is LeetClicker will move to this as well. We actually deployed a slightly different authentication system to LeetClicker not long ago, but we're seeing issues on iOS. And we've decided to just move towards a game key system for every game now. And that's what we're going to be moving towards. So my advice is go ahead and create your game key on the GMR Center. So log in, head to the dashboard, and then go ahead and create your game key. And you'll use this for Battle Leet and eventually LeetClicker when we migrate it across. Okay, cool. So that's kind of where we're up to in terms of what we've been working on, where we are, and what the game devs have been working on. So as I mentioned, a couple of new members of the team joined. So hopefully we're going to move much faster now. And I'm hoping to have dates for you guys in the near future. I've got another call with them lined up next week. I didn't have a call with them this week because of the time away from the project while I was with family. So I will speak to them next week, and then hopefully when we talk on Thursday, we will have a better understanding of what's going on. All right, cool. So I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to start with the questions that are in the chat, and then we will move to kind of just anybody can ask anything as long as you are polite. So I'm going to start with the questions that I'm seeing already. So the first one is from Crypto Gonza, I guess. Sorry, dude. I don't know which way you want me to read those words. But okay. So how feasible or difficult is it to put video upload section in the GMR Center? So that's actually a really good question. So right now we support live streaming, and there's a couple of places where you might want to host videos or store videos or show videos. One might be clips on your live stream channel, and one might be in the timeline, right? So you want to post a video instead of just an image. Now, with the new timeline system, we absolutely support videos, but I'm going to probably do some A/B testing, allowing some users to use that service and some not to. And the reason being is video hosting is expensive. Like there's a lot more storage involved in videos versus images. And I want to see how that scales and see what we can do to make this more efficient. So for example, right now, when you post an image to the GMR Center, what you'll notice is that we actually serve a different image format than what you post because we convert the image. So it's funny because it's a great time to ask this question because I'm literally writing a conversion script that when a video is uploaded, that we serve a WebM version of it. So instead of just like an MP4 or whatever formats we eventually support, that we serve a WebM version, which is a lot lighter and easier for us to store. So just to be super clear on that, the new timeline system will support video uploads, but we're going to probably slowly roll that out, allowing certain users to use it just to work on our optimization system and then just to monitor just to see what we can kind of expect that to cost us in terms of increased storage and so forth. Okay, good question. So Ultimo has posted one from Setsi. Setsi got muted, I see. That's nothing to do with me, dude. But no, I know the mods are obviously on top of things, so there must be a reason. I'll let you guys work that out. So, hi, Mark. First of all, thank you for the great work you and the team are doing. No, thank you, sir. Number one, we need to create more noise, like really more video posts. We have plenty of other materials, loud, hype-driven posts on Reddit and X, teasers like something coming soon. Let's grab in more hypertension, not hypertension. We don't need that. Hype attention. It's already needed right now. All right, cool. So let me answer that before moving on to the next one, dude. I think you're totally right. And that's one of the things that I'm working on. So the automations that I'm setting up are absolutely part of it. I've made no secret of the fact that I am not a marketing expert. And ideally, we would bring one of them on board. But right now, we're putting our resources into game development and trying to get that released because, well, the community obviously deserve to see some progress on the front. But you're right, we definitely need to still produce hype. And I honestly, like I said in my intro just now, there's no excuse anymore to be hiding behind budget reasons for marketing, because as we've proved, on a zero budget, we've been able to increase every single aspect or indices across Twitter just through being consistent with this automation that I deployed. So we're going to have to extend that to Reddit for sure, and maybe even other platforms like Medium and so forth. And I truly think that is definitely going to help. The email campaigns, we saw an increase in people opening emails just through changing the way we address the user that we are emailing. So I totally agree with you, dude, and I totally agree with the fact that we've got a lot of older materials that we can be using, and we've obviously got a lot of interesting things being built, worked on, and deployed even now. So let me fine-tune our automations, and I'm pretty convinced that we're going to see some improvements in that regard. Okay, number 2 from Set C. Regarding my last message to you privately about Binance Alpha, I hope you guys are planning to submit the application there. Market is not like in 21, 24. Now it could work much easier. Yeah, okay, you are absolutely right to raise things like Binance Alpha. Just a quick thing on like these kinds of events. Binance Alpha doesn't fit what I'm about to describe, but there are a lot of these kind of events that end up costing projects money to participate in with very little exposure. Binance Alpha, I don't think is one of them, and it's definitely worth some time considering. So I will definitely make a note to look into it and see what the application requirements are and when the deadline is. So thanks for the heads up, and I'll definitely look into it. Number 3, when iOS, I assume you're talking about the GMR Center app, or you could be talking about the game, I'm not sure. But in terms of the app, right now, we have actually got an application package ready. There's just a couple of things that I think we need to do on our side to get it prepared. This is just a long way of saying that I think we can do something with that. Let me look into it and I'll get a definite answer, because I don't have an answer with me right now. But next time we chat, I'll have an answer for you, because there are actually things on the application development side of things that we could pick back up quite easily, because we have an Android app and an iOS app in the pipe that wasn't quite ready. So I just need to dig back into it and see where I left that and let you know. Okay, cool. So I want RNG. How are you doing, dude? We got about 5 questions from you that we're going to go through now. Number 1, will we be able to use our NFLs in Battle League when live? Yes. That's the whole point of the API integration and the renewed emphasis on building the game. That's absolutely what we're going to be able to do. More so, the way it's going to work, if you want to use your Battle Leagues, all you have to do is register your wallet on the GMR Center. So if you don't know how to do that, just ask or visit the GMR Center, go to dashboard, click on wallets, and you can register your wallets there. And the way it will work is if you can have multiple wallets registered, and we pull in all your gamer assets from them. So you don't even need to have them all in one wallet anymore. This is the beauty of the new system that's been designed. This is what I've been working on with the API in the early part of this year. So you don't need to have all your Leet crates, your droids, your battle Leets, and your NFLs. They don't all need to be in one wallet, but you definitely need to have the wallets registered on the center for us to be able to take that inventory and make it available to you in the game. So that's going to be cool. Okay, number 2, it sounds like the relationship with the game devs turned slightly sour. What was the reason? No, it didn't. It was just, like I said, I think we addressed this already in the past. Budgets changed. The game developers had to take on other projects whilst our project became less of a priority based on our changes in budgets. We've worked with them over the last couple of months to bring them back to a level where we can be confident that we can deliver the game in a reasonable time. That's all it is, dude. Definitely no souring in the relationship. Number 3, when can we expect Battle Leet to go live? I remember reading a few weeks ago that it'll likely be released in a few weeks. So I think specifically the words I used was that we're talking about a deadline of weeks, not months and years anymore. And that's still the reality. Unfortunately, the call I was going to have with them last week got postponed because I had to deal with some family matters. But I do have a call with them this week. And like I said, there's already development on the game front, even from the last time we spoke. If you go to the GMR Center right now, you can generate your game key ready, which is what you'll be logging into the game with. Okay, cool. So number 4, what's the current update with all the low poly stuff we saw in 23-24 for mobile? So great question. And yet another opportunity to point out, guys, that we have a game built, deployed, and playable on Android right now, and that's what the low poly models were used for. So Battle Leet Infected, if you go to the Play Store on Android, you can start playing that right now. That's yet another part of our marketing that we need to really drive down people's throats, because we must be one of only very few projects that came through the Game 5 phase with an actual bloody game. So we should be definitely doing that. So expect to see more about Battle Leet Infected and Battle Leet in the coming weeks. Okay, so number 5, does the team have any plans to push any type of paid marketing on game release? So that's a good question, and it all depends on availability of funds over the next few weeks. Once we have a date set for Battle Leet, we can start to explore what paid opportunities we have. But right now, it's not worth talking about, because I don't know what the time frame is and how much we can allocate over that time. Because obviously, if the game is going to be released in 6 days, the budget will be less than if the game is going to be released in 6 weeks. But yeah, of course, there'll be some paid support to marketing for the game. I just don't know what that looks like yet, and we'll be continuing to work on that. And actually, Fitos has been a source of a lot of information while I start to brush up on ways to promote game releases in general. Okay, cool. All right. So, Timo, that's not so much a question, but I guess you're kind of drawing attention to rescaling of pictures. By the way, the new timeline system, you post an image, you get the full aspect of that image up to the maximum width of the device. And if you post multiple images, then of course we have to crop them, fit them, but you can click on the image and open it up. It's going to be a much better system, guys, I promise. Okay, so we've got a bunch of questions from Phoenixer via Fitos. So that's about 13. So I'm going to go through them. Guys who are holding on the call to ask questions in person, if you don't want to wait, then feel free to add yours in the comments. If not, just hang fire and I will get to you guys too. So number 1, what happened with the community fund tracker? It stopped working shortly after release. It should update every 5 days, the correct amount, but it never did. Actually, it does, it works. The only problem is at the beginning of a month, it resets. And I don't show the previous month's allocated funds. So I need to introduce that. So I will. So it's not that it stopped working, it's just that it reset at the beginning of July. And I need to kind of get onto that so you can see how that's evolving over several months. Now, just to be clear on that, What I wanted to do is monitor it over 3 months and see how much it's actually earning before making a decision on whether we need to set new minimums. So what I will do, looking at the funds right now, it's quite low. So probably not an awful lot to get excited about. So my idea was 3 full months, and we are in the first full month right now, because I think June was only partial month. So let me get the information on the screen for you guys over the weekend so that you can see yourselves how much it's accumulating. And like I said, maybe the end of August, we can make a decision on whether we want to spend those funds already, what we can spend them on, and then we can make a decision on whether we need to explore ways to set a minimum baseline, maybe drawing in from other funds as well. So yeah, just to simply put, it's not stopped working. It's just tracking for the current month only. Okay, number 2, AMA with LeetLotto. Is base still a thing? That sprint didn't get finished, and the old LeetLotto had NFLs and tokens with its portfolio. So the sprint did get finished. We just didn't deploy to base, and actually, I'm not sure whether it's worth doing. Granted, I probably should have discussed this with you guys, but this is as good a time as any. Base in general is seeing very low volume, so I could deploy to base, but I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is it even worth it? Are we splitting hairs? Like almost all our community is on Binance. I guess that's a. I guess I'm answering my own question. We probably do need to deploy to base, but yeah, it's done and it is finished. And the current LeetLotto still supports NFTs and so forth. And tokens, but right now I'm focusing on BNB just while I get a gauge of how people are using the app. There's nothing stopping us using NFTs. We could definitely explore that maybe next week, do a lotto for NFTs. The only thing is I think right now we've got 5 active lottos and only 3 of them, I think, have sold tickets, maybe 4 actually now, and not many. So I don't know. I don't think that's answering your question, Phoenix, and I'm sorry. But other than to say, we will explore an NFT lotto next week. Why not? Okay, number 4. Oh, we skipped one. So anyway, what is the current state of Battle Leet Infected? It was said to speak with around about full release without the beta tag. Yeah, so that's actually the game devs who are going to do that because it's being deployed via them. So like I said, I didn't get my call with them last week. I'll be having my call with them this week. So hopefully we can get that pushed out. How will BL be promoted? Is there a time frame when to push it out? I'll read the point 1 as well. Since there has been a few weeks now, how is BL game coming along? Is it being worked on for weeks or just started yet? So I think I addressed this already, but I'll just put the point on it. So right now, I don't know the date, if that's what you're asking. So in terms of promotion, once I have I don't need the concrete date, I just need a ballpark figure, right? Once I know in general, like roughly when we can expect this to be deployed, then we can start putting together a promotional plan. It won't all involve paid promotions. It will also involve scheduled posts, articles written, videos made. I'll obviously reach out to Frank as well for some support from the GMR Zone podcast, and we will put something together there. To answer the question about development, like I said, it is being worked on. We've begun integrating authentication, and that's also being worked on together with myself. So I've deployed my side of it, they're working on their side of it, and we've onboarded new team members as well. So hopefully when I get to speak to them next week, we'll have even better news. Okay, is GamerSwap still a thing? It has been mentioned some time ago to be a fork of an existing platform. So as you all know, everything that we develop now is something that we vote on as a community. So it's certainly not being developed. The only thing I would say that is kind of in the GamerSwap area is that I'm working on the GMR Center wallet system. So it's not necessarily a swap as such, but it is a method of deploying tokens to the platform, which isn't the same as GamerSwap, but I guess it's kind of related. But if you want GamerSwap to be a development item, my suggestion is that you try to cultivate some support within the community and maybe get that voted on in the next vote. Which actually brings me to a kind of an aside. Obviously, we had the vote and chose Gamerverse. We've seen a lot of discussion from Moonman in particular, who wasn't happy with the way the vote goes. And I know it sucks, but unfortunately, that's how community-driven development works. My suggestion for anyone else with ideas that they think would work, it's really important inside a community that you work with the community to get consensus around your ideas. We have a great community, but I think one thing that we can do better is be more proactive within the community with one another. So I'm not singling out anyone in particular, but what I would say is that if you want to get people on board with your ideas, being negative is certainly not going to help. So being a positive force within the community will get people on board with your ideas much faster than any other way. So thankfully, I would say 95% of our community are super positive, but there are some that could probably be a bit more positive, and then some of your peers might come alongside you with your ideas too. So if you have an idea that you want voting on, the best way to get people to agree on that is to be active within the community, build that consensus around ideas, and it will work out for you, I'm sure. Okay, cool. So that said, it was said that the center will become an experience system, and therefore we should already interact with it daily because the posts already count. Is this actually true? So yeah, it is true. The only thing is that the current timeline is not good enough, and that's what we're building a new one for. So your posts will improve your experience, but that won't actually be shown until the new system goes live. So there'll be a reconciliation of previous posts, and then we will apply that to the new timeline going forward. Okay, cool. The white paper is still deprecated with BL getting the last touch. When will this thing be being updated? It has been said several times for a month per month now. Actually, it's not deprecated. There are some pages that have warning, and there are some pages that don't. Battle Leet wasn't actually the last thing to get updated. LeetLotto, I think, was the last major update. So it's not something that I'm notifying you guys about every time I make updates. I'm just going through it and making updates and removing the deprecation letter from that page. So if you see a page with a deprecation warning on it, it should be specific to that. Granted, the homepage does have a warning on it because ultimately there are parts of the white paper that are out of date. But no, it is being updated, and LeetLotto now has a much more in-depth white paper insertion. So actually, it even goes into great detail in terms of how our relationship works with Chainlink, with the graph, how our contracts work. It's really cool, and these updates continue to move forward. Okay, are there any talks with bigger partners about promotion, partnership, etc. for more exposure? Not yet, dude. Like I said, I'm still finding my feet with the marketing stuff. But in the meantime, like I said, the best way to kind of get that exposure is just being consistent, which is the first thing that I'm trying to work on. And it is working. And I think in terms of partnerships, there has to be a kind of quid pro quo. And I'm just trying to figure out what we can offer in return for them to give us that promotion. So I'm open to ideas. Some people have already been proactive in giving me those ideas. And if you have any, then please reach out to me. Okay, cool. So continuing on, how much work, roughly speaking, will be the NFL hub again to sell NFTs? Well, I mean, it's hard to say just off the top of my head, but just like any development process, I imagine you're talking a number of weeks. I mean, a lot of the components and the systems to support it are already in place. There's a bunch of stuff that we need to work out. Like a auction system would be much more complicated than a straight sale system. A straight sale, in fact, actually a straight sale method will actually be quite simple to implement. I could probably do that pretty quick. I could probably do that in like 3 weeks, let's say. Yeah, don't hold me to that, dude. I know you want to, but don't. But again, if you want to make that a development push, then get amongst your peers in a positive manner, bring them on board with you, and I'm sure we can get that voted on. It's not a lot of work, a straight sale. It gets complicated with an auction because we would probably want some kind of chain link integration, but otherwise it's not too difficult. Any news from Mark about the NFL battle game? We started a new mod chat because we wanted to start fresh, and Mark is in it, and he did make an appearance, but obviously Mark is a very busy man, and the NFL battle game might not be coming back to us anytime soon in the capacity that it was, but I'm sure there's things we can do on that front too. Okay, and the last one, Phoenix, dude, you wanted to work out a higher profile score above 90 on CMC with Ryan because there were things that you said which can be done from the dev side. This was some weeks ago. Is this still a thing? Can I ask, why do you say is there still a thing to almost everything? Of course it is, dude. Yeah, we still want to get above 90%, but obviously with me being away, Ryan had to coordinate with the game dev team. I've had to coordinate with the game dev team. It's been a very busy time. I've just not been able to allocate enough attention to it, but it's definitely still a goal, and I'll definitely still get round to it. All right, cool. And also, by the way, even just to kind of put some context around that, basically there's a developer portal where we can submit various parts of information about our project, and I think we're about 95% on that anyway. So it's very difficult to tell now whether, based on what we do, we will hit that 90% because we've done pretty much everything. But anyway, there we go. All right, cool. So, Psyche, would it take a development slot to add a number of current holders, maybe, or a meaningful threshold, average holding of these, average holding of the top 10, and maybe a price change in the last week on the token stats page? No, I can do that this weekend. Okay, cool. Fitos. Is there any update on whether Battle Leet can be listed in Steam? Yes. Why the Steam page is not yet created to get as much wish list as possible. So yeah, also, by the way, first of all, there's been no progress on the Steam side. Apologies. But I did look into Steam, and what I've noticed is that the Battle Leet page is only accessible in certain countries. So, like, for example, the country I'm in right now, it's not accessible, but in the UK, for example, it is. So, yeah, I need to look into that and understand why that is the case and get access to it. So, again, apologies, there's not been much development on that front, and I will see what we can do with that. Okay, so the next one is from Scorpion. Oh, hold on, sorry. There's a bit more to it. No, sorry, yeah. Okay, Scorpion, why do you think not many users are buying LeetLotto tickets? That's a good question. I think I'm doing what I can from my side to promote the lotteries. I'm keeping the lotteries small now, so there's only like one, I think, that's quite high value. The others are quite small. I even deployed a low cap one, if you like, so something that's worth about $20. And I think only one ticket last time I checked had been sold on that front. So I can't answer that question. And maybe some of you guys in the chat right now can answer that. If you are aware of any reason why you're not so interested in LeetLotto this time around, please let me know. In the meantime, what I would say is that we've only just for the last like 5 days had this automated system going where we're consistently posting about LeetLotto. So hopefully that will help pick up some players. But yeah, it's a bit of everything. Maybe we need to run another campaign on emails. Maybe we need to explore what Phoenix was suggesting in terms of a NFT or token lotto. So we'll do that next week. So once one more lotto is complete, I will push up another one that is an NFT one next week. I don't really want to run more than 4-5 lottos at a time, especially while the volume is low right now. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but I think there's more we can do on our side from exploring different lotteries to being more consistent with our awareness drives. Okay, Ultimo, back in the days, when we were close to releasing Infected to PlayStation and Xbox, how far are we in that now? So I just think that the idea was to get the game pushed to mobile and then to work on Battle Leet. So they're my two primary goals right now in terms of game development, is to get the Battle Leet Infected relabeled as full release instead of beta, because it's not a beta anymore, and then also deploy Battle Leet as our first deployment, and then we can start picking that back up. You've got to remember, guys, I know it's not what you want, but a lot of these questions I'm not really aware of the answers because these are not part of my decision making back in the day. Obviously they are now, so I will get the answer when I speak to the game devs in terms of what the steps would be. I'm not saying we are going to release it on PlayStation and Xbox, but I will try to understand what the steps would involve. Okay, so a lot of these kind of questions related to decisions from way back when are very difficult for me to answer because I've only been involved in every aspect of the project for about 2 months. Cool, Soren. So, one, when will we have GMR staking with NFTs as reward? And two, and what about NFT marketplace? And three, how long until we have auction again or straight sale? So again, great questions and kind of related to something that we were talking about a bit earlier. So staking, I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. The project needs to build up an allocation of tokens of their own once more to be able to allocate them as rewards. So I think the Gameverse, I'm going to explore allowing people to buy landed in GMR tokens as well as BNB. Right now, we've only ever sold them in BNB, but I think we're going to explore ways to allow people to purchase them in GMR as well, and some other options on the horizon where we can try to increase the project holding of the GMR token so that we can allocate them to staking. But it's not something that we see a huge demand for right now, but it's definitely something we can explore. Now, in terms of staking, let's just stay on that for a moment. I spoke with Decubate again about 2 days ago regarding some issues some people have had with drawing. The representative I spoke to was aware of the issue and was escalating it within the team. I've not heard anything back yet, and I've told the retro chat, I think it was, that if I've not heard anything back by weekend, I will ask that we escalate this further and see what we can do. In terms of the NFT marketplace, again, this is a new development, and that new development will be something that you guys have to vote for to bring it about. And I think I talked about the auction and straight sale again. These are not too difficult in terms of the straight sale. The auction is a bit more complicated, but if you want it as part of a development process, then stay tuned. And when the opportunity arises, let's talk. But again, just some advice. I'll repeat it once more because I know Moonman in particular was absolutely furious that he didn't get what he wanted in that, which is understandable. But what I would say is the best way to get what you want in these cases is to talk to your community members and get them on your side. Okay, Beto, how feasible is it to promote on TikTok, which is one of the largest networks, and whether it's promoting games or the GMR Center platform? It would be nice if the platform were suitable for uploading videos and attracting content creators from all walks of life. So there's kind of two questions in that. TikTok is obviously not a medium that we've explored right now. And once we've got the automated system that I've built deployed to Reddit and expanded on Twitter, and we can start to really develop our skills in that regard, then we can start to look at expanding that to TikTok. There's definitely no reason why we can't. Then the second kind of half of that question was video uploading. So like I said, the new timeline system will support video uploads, but we're not going to open that up to everyone. We're going to just open it up to some users to test whilst we work on our optimization tools, because we don't want to see our server costs spike to unsustainable levels. And we definitely agree, though, that it's definitely part of the future. So we are working on it. Cool. All right. I want RNG back with another question. So how are you feeling in general with the amount of work required on your end? At the moment, it feels like you're carrying and there's so much to do. Are you feeling burnt out in any way? And do you feel you can remain consistent and motivated for the next few months or years? No, dude, I'm fine. Don't worry about that. Just from time to time, I will obviously take some time away. But no, I'm good. It's all good. Nothing that I can't handle. The only thing that frustrates me is that I have to get better at some of the aspects, such as marketing. But that's not something that is wearing me down. It's just frustrating because there's a skill to it, right? That's why people get paid a lot of money for all these things. All right, cool. Phoenix, props to you too, dude. Thank you very much for your questions. You don't have to thank me for answers because that's what you guys deserve it. All right, cool. All right, is it possible to turn the MM back on? So GMT, there's actually some ethical questions surrounding market makers. There are some legal questions being asked about some of their practices. Now, we worked with Decubate, and Decubate are a great project, and we've had a relationship with the people there for a long time. And like I said, I've been speaking to them this week because they managed our staking, and it was their decision to back out of the market-making market because of some of the questions about this kind of practice in general. So I don't think we're going to be bringing that up. Bringing that back anytime soon. But I'm not ruling it out. I just don't think it's something that is going to be something that's coming soon, because we would definitely want to work with a market making project to make sure that everything that is being done is ethical, legal, and done the correct way. And right now, we're just finding it hard to find a project that fits that bill, especially since the one that we did trust to do that decided they didn't want to be associated with that practice anymore. Okay, cool. All right. So someone's asking, how do you sell your Leet? Well, that's a good question. You certainly can't sell it on our platform yet, but we are going to get there. It certainly is harder now as well, since NF Trade just decided to close down with very little notice. That was definitely our main sister project in terms of allowing people to monetize these tokens. So, okay. All right. So let me just say, so we have, okay, one more question from I Want RNG, which is, might be too personal, but are you being paid from GMR? And if so, how is this distributed? Through taxes, I presume? No, dude, I actually don't take any funds from the project. That's not something that I feel is the right thing to do right now whilst the project is like this. There will hopefully be a time where I can, but right now I don't. You know, I've got a very supporting family around me. I also did quite well in the past through my software engineering roles, but obviously right now my main focus is getting this project sorted. I wouldn't say I'm rich, Vitos. I would just say that I've got a very supportive partner. She looks after me from time to time, and from time to time I look after her as well over the years. So right now we're in a different part of our cycle. So hopefully, guys, we will turn this ship around and get all those goals achieved, and we can crack on and walk off into the sunlight. No, dude, you're not lucky to have me. I was here from the beginning. I've seen the good times. It's only fair that I'm here for the challenging times. And by the way, guys, this is not, it sucks because we are a million miles away from ATH, of course. But in terms of kind of like, if you were to zoom out and look at some of the others projects around us right now that didn't make it, you know, it could be worse. It could be a hell of a lot better as well. Anyway, all right. So we answered questions there for a hell of a long time, but I did promise an extended AMA, and we got it. But I will allow another 10 minutes for people to ask questions via voice. If you've even still got a voice and a question to ask, I admit I think most of you have probably given up waiting to talk and asked your questions in the chat, which is fine. And like I said, there will be an opportunity to talk on Sunday as well. In the meantime, I will put the music back on, and we've got a couple more minutes to ask. So feel free to speak up, guys. Yeah, dude, I think you're probably right. Next week, maybe we'll get the voice questions out of the way and then go to the chat. Good idea. And yeah, loving the nice sticker. Do you know, actually, somebody got me a mug for Christmas once with that exact image on it. So all fun, brings back good memories. Video appearances are coming. We did the last coffee chat on video, and I think I'll do it again on video this time. Just a quick one. I'm seeing negotiations for Leet. Oh, what a good song. Anyway, I'm seeing negotiations in the chat this weekend. I'll explore some of the work that would be involved to get an actual straight sale app deployed, and then at least then you'll be a bit more informed when it comes to the vote next time. I fucking love this song. Thank you, Scorpion. Much appreciated, dude. And congratulations on the wins you've had on LeetLotto. I agree, dude. I think we can definitely make something of this. I think if I'm being totally honest, I think what we've seen, obviously when we first came to the market, there was a lot of hype around, which obviously drove the project to where it got to, which obviously gave us an unbelievable opportunity to make this thing happen. I think we are all aware of some of the issues we had over the years that led us to where we are today, not just from fault of our own, but obviously the market as a whole. I think you saw that with the graveyard of projects that exist now from the same time period. But what we've got the opportunity for now is to build an actual product that is blockchain driven and useful. And I think that is more important than some of the stuff that we've seen come and go in the past. And I genuinely think what we're going to see is the real value of blockchain and gaming and social media. So yeah, I'm with you, dude. And again, if it wasn't for the community here, I wouldn't be here anyway. So don't give me props, give yourselves props. All right, guys, I think that's about it. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to say thank you for everyone for participating. It was a slog today, lots of questions, but it was really fun to be able to chat with you guys. So for those of you who made it to the end, thank you very much. In fact, we only dropped out, I think, about 3 people. So great job, guys. Sunday, we're going to have a dev chat. So if you are around, it will be Sunday evening by European standards, Sunday morning by US and the Americas. And if you're in Asia, I don't know where that leaves you, in the graveyard somewhere, I guess. I do apologize. We will try and make it a bit more accessible for different regions in the future. But stay tuned on Sunday. We're going to have a coffee chat, and we will hopefully have a bit of fun as well. Last time we did a bit of reacting to an article. I'm hoping this time to go through some of the design processes that we have here at GMR. But let's see, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks again for the patience. Appreciate it, guys, and I will see you then. Thank you very much. Goodbye.